Good evening. Tonight I think we'll just chill, play some City Skylines. It's been a few months since I've played, but it's one of my go-to games for just kind of relaxing, and I love a simulation. So let's make a new town. If you've never played City Skylines before, it's very, very much I think, a love letter to SimCity. One could claim that they ripped them off if if you were a really big SimCity fan, but SimCity changed a lot, and I think somebody kind of had to pick up the slack. So considering that the newer SimCity games really weren't up to snuff, City Skylines just came out and shined. It's been out for a couple years. What type of town do we want to start with? Let's see. Green Peaks. I think we kind of want to go for one where we can use some industry. There was a new industry expansion that came out a few months ago, and I'd like to try that out. Lots of rivers. I do have some mods installed. A few custom roads. This game was very much built to mod, and it really shows. Honestly, you're kind of encouraged to mod, because when you play bare bones, it leaves you kind of wanting things here and there. Just little things, like everything's great as far as the traffic systems are concerned, but you want just, a few more options for your roads. You want to be able to, add an off-ramp here or there. You want to be able to place things where you normally wouldn't be able to place them, and mods provide almost any extra thing you can think of that you want for this game. We're getting down into these islands here. I think I want to go for more land. Ooh, no. I don't think I want to play in any of the ice terrains just yet. So let's say... let's go with one with a large river. Cavern Coast. Oh, this one's kind of hilly. This one might be neat. This one came with the Park Life expansion. There's oil, ore, farming and forestry. There's water connections. What do we not have? We don't have a train connection. Trains are nice. Let's see. They're highways, of course. Ship connections, plane connections. So we can have an airport. We can have ships. Can we operate without trains? That might get a little tough in the mid-game. You know what? Let's go for it, though. We'll call this one Twitch Town. And no, we don't need a custom theme. We'll go with the one that we've got. So one of the mods that I have is this loader, which tries to structure the order that all of the assets are loaded and mods in order to stabilize the load. I believe that I still have a couple of expansions that throw up errors, especially with new updates, so we may still get like an error window pop up as soon as the map loads. If so, then I will go in and try to find out which one that is. Let's see, there's a roundabout interchange that failed, a magic roundabout. I'll have to clean those out later. Shouldn't cause us an issue. I mean, I don't want to speak too soon, but usually if something errors out, the game's pretty good about failing gracefully and not having it appear. This is always the most suspenseful part. I would have had everything loaded up already, but kind of want to go through that initial creation process on stream with everybody. Two failed, 10 missing. What else is missing? Rural highway missing. That was a neat one. Really? Rural highway's missing? I think we still have dirt roads. Oh yeah, here we go. Did throw up an error. That's okay. Close. Debug's fine. Alright. So let's take a look at our map that we have here. Let's leave everything paused for a minute. Kind of get an idea of what we've got going on. So we do have ocean access to the northeast. Let me turn this, adjust the volume a little bit here. There we go. Alright, so yeah, we want to build our first roads off of the interstate to kind of start our town. Kind of does start you with this mountain and the river really blocking you in here. So any expansion that we have would either have to cross the river or come back out to the mainland. Unless we really want to build up into these mountains. That might be a neat idea. We can maybe kind of try to follow the natural flow of the mountains. We'll play around with that. And of course, just to start out though, we need our first neighborhoods. Let's go ahead and try to plan some of this out. Let's see. So I'll start off with a normal 2-lane road. I know that if you place one, then you unlock a lot of the other roads that you can use. So I usually like to place that and then bulldoze it so that we can use the type of road that we really want. Now, we don't want to blow all of our money right away. I'm not cheating for more money, though it almost doesn't matter if you're using mods. A lot of these are, I don't know, a lot of the initial modded content is fairly priced for what it does. Nothing's really cheap. Just checking to see. Maybe some parking lots that I've got modded in. Got a roundabout. We have to unlock some other types of road before we can use these others. Let's... Okay, so we do have these 2-lane gravel roads. Let's start off with something that'll let people leave and enter at the same rate. Essentially a roundabout. In order to get a good circle, though, let's make a plus sign. How big do we want the circle to be? Let's start with something about yay big. So 80. Not perfect, though. Let's see. How many units we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 17. 20, okay. Now we can come off of the middle of this. An appropriate length. Now if we choose a curve, and we come out the right amount, we can get a circle here. And actually, we want this to be a one-way road, which we should be able to change. There we go, with an upgrade. And then let's build more of a one-way all the way around. We'll go counterclockwise. Space is already occupied. What do we have it occupied with? No, we're good. Alright, now that we've built the circle, we can get rid of these middle spokes. They just kind of hold the shape, and the game renders the circle a little better. So we will bulldoze them out, and then we can add on our own one-way additions to this. I may actually want to build a curved road coming off the top here, so let's actually take these out. Let's come off of this top corner here with a curved road. How would this look if I came straight out and then curved down? Now that does a weird... Yes, we know the game's paused. We're being a little anal about our entry road before we actually begin the game. Okay, let's curve down. Let's do a multiple curve, which is another option here. You can kind of do a free-formed S shape. And let's see if we can come down and then, ooh, don't know if we can make that happen. I guess that doesn't look terrible if we can kind of make the other side look similar. So let's see if we can turn off snapping. Don't snap to the grid. Or the angle. There we go. Kind of come down about the same degree. And then we can put our curved road back in here. Will this match? It's not exact, but it's going to have the same interaction. So let's see, can we move? There's a move option. This is a lovely mod. You just have to be really careful that you don't clip anything that causes cars to fly off into space, which will sometimes happen. That is close enough for me. We may replace these with highway on-ramps like these once we unlock them, because I don't think that we have them yet. We do have the full, relatively full roads that we can use inland here. I say inland, off the interstate. Which, let's go ahead and start a residential road. And you know, I kind of got in the habit of using more expensive roads even at the very beginning so that I wouldn't have to upgrade them and bulldoze things later and make people move out. But I think we will live on the edge and play on the cheap starting out here so we don't run out of money. We've got the economy panel. Let's go ahead and take a look at it really quick. So we already have electric and water on here. We'll wait until we actually unlock taxes before we really mess with any of these settings. Oh my, got a little bit of lag going on. I will say, I don't know how well optimized this game is if it's running on a GTX 1080 with enough RAM and it's still spazzing out. But we will hope and pray that it lets us enjoy the game in peace. So we'll build an initial neighborhood off in this direction. We'll call this north. So over here in the west side, off of the interstate, we'll have this initial little neighborhood. Let's go ahead and say initial low density housing just in this area here. But before we even get started with letting this grow in, we're going to need water, we're going to need electricity. I figure we'll put electrical plants in an industrial area. Let's give the industrial area a bit of a better road here off to the east side. Let's go ahead and bring it most of the way down. And let's take an offshoot road here that'll be sort of a services corridor. And we will place an initial... Yeah, I'll start with a coal power plant. I do like going with wind turbines eventually, but we're not building the perfect city right off the bat. We're going to play it easy. We're going to start off with a coal power plant. Let's place it just inside of the service corridor. So it's going to give us an initial ring of electricity, which we can kind of tap right here in this corner. Oh, already occupied. Let's see. Let's grab it here. And we can bring it over the interstate here, over the highway, and into our first little neighborhood. That's not annoying. We'll see if we can place that. Or if it'll freeze on me. I've muted the sound so you don't have to worry about it. Oh my goodness. Well, it actually ended with a very satisfying plop sound, but I'm not really going to put up with much more of this lag if it's going to do that. I may have to check on frame rates and see. I'm not dropping any frames on the stream, so really it's on the game's end here. So we initially plotted our first little neighborhood here. Maybe we'll go ahead and add some houses to this stretch so they can go ahead and tap off of this electricity and it'll just kind of naturally spread. Let's just paint in. Well, you know, I don't want houses right up against this main road just yet. So we'll kind of come in one square, see what grows in this area, and see if they go ahead and get their power connected here. Let's also plan for some water. We're going to need to bring in water and pump out sewage. And really our initial option is going to be this river here. We're probably going to want to get clean water from the freshest point. Let's see, we can't... Yes, we can. There we go. We can see the flow here coming from the south. So if we get the clean water here and we pump out the sewage up a little higher, then we won't contaminate our water with a backflow. We do want to give a comfortable distance to the sewage. We have a little dock over here. Kind of a rundown little abandoned dock. Cute. So yeah, let's start off with fresh water. We're going to get that from right here. As close down into the fresh water as we can get. And sewage, we'll put it all the way up here across from that dock. It's going to cost us a little extra to run the pipes up there, but you know, water safety is our chief concern. We'll run this all the way down the beach here, connecting it to this water pump so that it's connected to the entire system, and we will then bring a pipe across the line here all the way over into our initial neighborhood, also covering our nuclear power plant, and we'll get some over here for our initial industrial area as well. Let's bring another set of pipes across just to make sure that we're covering the map nicely. We need to plan for residential, industrial, and also we need to plan for some commercial areas, some shops, stores, and restaurants. I think that I will initially give a small commercial area just across from the residential area here. Very close place for people to work. It does get a little noisy, but I don't think that right off the bat our citizens are going to care about the noise. We shall see. Let's see what Chirper says here. So since we haven't actually started the timer yet, we haven't gotten anybody to move in yet. We haven't gotten any notifications about any concerns from citizens, but that's where we'll see those pop up. What do we want this guy to look like? He kind of looks like a little scientist right now. We can kind of change him. Oh, it got quiet. Let's see. Oh, I like the road cone. Jester hat. Let's go with a hipster Chirper here in the toque, in the sock hat. All right, so let's go ahead and paint in again some commercial area just to the north here, so they can access it from Fairview Street or Peters Street. Let's make sure. Well, they'll get electricity from across the street. We do need to get power down here and up here. We don't want to forget about that. So let's go ahead and grab some off of the south side here. Take it across inside of the zone of influence. And another kind of pricey expense is we need to run this power line up as well. We won't go directly along the beach. Let's go just a little off the beach. We may want to develop over there at some point. So we'll just come up and across. There we go. So that's going to have power. Let's go ahead and start. So this is going to initially start producing electricity for us. It's going to run along the lines. There they go. They're blue. We've got this running, operating normally, pumping our water. Can we see it? Yes, we can. So we do have water in. As soon as we have water out from buildings moving in, we'll start to see some come out here into the river. Let's turn on some additional music. This atmosphere is getting a little suspenseful randomly. Let's put on the new Synthetic Dawn. I haven't listened to much of this yet. Yeah. I may turn it down just a little bit. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it gets so quiet in the menu. Let's turn main down. 40. Radio music down. Yeah, about 30. There we go. And then I'll turn up a little bit here. There we go. Alright, so now we just have to keep an eye out and see. See if we get some people moving in. Oh, we have some initial plots here popping up. The Cashew Heights. We have a very appealing city. The initial needs down here show that we have very high need for residential. I do have a mod that lets me tweak the needs. That is kind of cheating, but it's really only cheating when you use it, right? So we'll try to avoid using it unless we get particularly needy, or rather particularly not needy, and we need to influence their needs. So is this going to connect to the electric now? Let's see. Oh, is it just outside? Let's go ahead and budge this over. There we go. Now I'm waiting to see when we'll get some cars come and move some actual people in. Oh, we have some commercial buildings popping up. Scotch and Foster. We can rename anything we want. Your formal wear. Man, this radio station's banging. I usually like to listen to the Golden Oldies radio station, but that one you can't stream. This is the first time I've heard this one, though. It just came with the last expansion. Let's go ahead and get some industrial roads built here so that our first people that move in can have some places to work. Let's bring this up and along, kind of connect it on the back end here. Yeah, we're starting to get just a little bit of demand for industrial down here. I want to play Horse Economy 3.
Now the hit Equine Economic Simulator has a new expansion that delves into the cutthroat world of real estate. Horse Economy 3, Stable Markets. Can you
I love it.
Way from lowly horse to be the head of a major real estate empire? Can you spin your holdings into a billion-dollar conglomerate? Can you work your way under the fence and out of your pen and onto your life as a property mogul? Spreadsheets have never been hotter. Pre-order now and get a free horse hat. Horse Economy 3, Stable Markets. Buy low, sell hay.
I want to play the Horse Surgeon Simulator, Dr. Ed.
I'm Jessica Statler, and this is Synthetic Dawn Radio, the Grey Poupon of the radio world.
Let's see.
But with a kick.
So right now, we haven't really unlocked the ability to have schools or fire stations or police. You gotta play it slow on the front end. Still waiting on somebody to drive in. Kind of eager to see it. I love seeing the cars drive in. I love the traffic simulation in this game. It does get a little stressful when you have traffic and you have to plan around it. But that's one of the joys for me. I like stress if it can come with a satisfying resolution. Oh, I thought I saw a person for a second, but it was a mailbox. Oh no, there's a person. Who is our first person? Terry Graham. We have a first person cam. Terry's going to the general store. Let's follow him for a minute. We're still waiting for more people to move in. So one thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is that we've kind of neglected walkways. We have some... Oh, a car! We have some initial roads, and they're a little long. So we could build some paths, like alleyways. Oh, Terry made it to the store. Which also says laundromat. You know what? Be the change you want to see in the world. You are now a laundromat. So, yeah, instead of having Terry have to walk this entire way, all the way around the block, let's start off with some initial paths, if we can. Have we unlocked them yet? You know what? We may not have. I believe they may be under parks. So economy, we don't have the option for taxes yet. Let's just see if we have path. Park. No, I don't think that we have it yet. So we'll plan for that, though. When we start putting some parks maybe in the middle of this area, we'll maybe make some some walkways. We will have to evict some people, like Old Cruster's Nursing World. No, I can't. I can't evict Old Cruster's Nursing World, can I? We have some very clever names that come up from the mod. So another mod that we have tells us a little bit more about what the individual house or store or workplace needs in order to advance. It gives us some warnings, like we have fire hazard here. When we get a fire department, of course, you know, that'll take care of it. But initially they're happy, and they're a level 1 house. I love this. So one other thing we may want to do is use the control that we have here from our traffic manager mod to prevent people from parking in the main circle. Let's see, clear traffic, we don't want to do that. We can micromanage everything from the number of lanes to which lanes they use. We just want no parking. It's right here. So let's say no parking. Can we drag? No, we have to click. None of this. I don't want you to park here either. So just kind of teleported to these nearby parking spaces. Let's give them a place to park, though. No parking, no parking. None of these main roads coming in or out of town. We don't want to tie it up with people having to slow down to park on the side of the road. We may also upgrade these roads to more lanes eventually as well, or something faster. We can set the speed limit, but you can start to get into some unrealistic... I'm assuming these are miles per hour. They could be kilometers per hour, you know? 40... What is 40 kilometers an hour in miles per hour? Let's see. .40 kilometers per hour is 24 miles per hour. So you know what? This may be kilometers per hour. So we can maybe turn it up a little bit since we don't have any parking. Let's go ahead and say we'll let people go 70. We have to kind of budget over to work around this big menu that we have here. Yeah, you guys can go 70 on these roads. What do you think about that? Oh, they can go 100 on the highway, so yeah, I'm okay with this. We did initially have some modded in parking lots. Let's consider throwing in one here towards the beginning, since we don't give them these areas to park. Let's see, what does a 5x8 look like? Well, that's not terrible. You can kind of pop this in somewhere nearby. Let's see, can we go off this road? We can. It would bulldoze those houses though. Oh, that's a shame, that's so close. Let's go off of this road then, and we'll give them parking right next to the commercial area. So if someone's coming in or from across town, they can park here if the businesses here don't have parking, and then they can walk, they can cross. We could also designate our own crosswalks, which will be neat eventually as well. Let's see. Home Street is our circle. Ooh, we have some industry popping up over here. What do they say? Not enough workers, so we still have lots of need for residential. So maybe we should go ahead and expand. And we kind of close ourselves off here a little bit. Not terribly, but I don't think we want to take commercial all the way down to the end. I'm thinking that we want to kind of wrap that area in maybe a C shape with some commercial in the middle. We've reached a little hamlet, so we can now manage our taxes, take out loans if we want, which can get dangerous. We can manage garbage, healthcare, and education. All right. So let's go ahead and plan for some expansion on residential first. Then we can add some of those new options. Let's take residential a little bit further here. Let's take it all the way down and across, and even start to come up here. Let's go ahead and complete this residential area. I don't like to butt them up against each other necessarily, so we'll probably put a little alley here, or walkway eventually. We'll just kind of see how that plays out. Water's still good, right? Nope, it is not. We need to bring water all the way down. And that should cover everybody. So while that's growing, let's come over here and plan for some garbage. Recycling center costs 16,000. We don't have the money for that. A landfill, however, costs 4,000. We will start with a landfill. It's not the prettiest, it's not the cleanest, but it will be our first option. Let's put it down. You know what? I did say I wanted to use this as a service road. Let's actually knock out some of these businesses here that was so nice to move in initially, but we need the room for our landfill. Let's make sure that we can kind of replenish that with some more industrial. Let's take this road the rest of the way down, and then up. And we can plan to fill this in with industrial, and even some on the end here for now. Thank you for the tips. Yeah, let's go ahead and start planning some zones. Or districts we can't do yet, so it was just a tip for zoning. We'll get to that later. Now we have 18, almost $19,000. An elementary school would be 10. That would eat a lot of our initial money. Not very educated yet, but you know what? We need workers. They'll start filling out the jobs, and then they'll eventually complain that they're not educated enough. And when that happens, then we'll worry about it. So let's see. Medical clinics also 10,000 though. We need a little bit more money. Now this is going to be a very happy place to live, so you know, if you want to live here, you've got to pay the price. So let's start off initially going up to about 12%. I find that I don't tend to get complaints. Just under 13-ish%, I believe. Looks good, looks good. So we still have more of a need for residential. Have they all moved in? They have. So let's keep expanding up to the north here. Let's take our roads up. Maybe make another rectangle here that comes back down to the middle, or maybe down to this second node here. How far up do we want to go? Let's come all the way up here. And across. Just to make sure we have ample through traffic. Let's bring it back down. Now this can cause some trouble later with all these intersections, so we may eventually start experimenting with one-way streets, depending on how developed we get, but right now it's just a quaint little neighborhood. We have 684 people living here in our quaint little neighborhood, but traffic's not terrible yet. People are parking on the road. We may give them more options there as well. Let's take some of this need for residential, get some people to move in up here. Start a bit of a neighborhood here. I may take commercial up in an L shape here. Let's make sure that they get water. We'll actually start to bring this vertically. And while we're at it, we have the money. We'll go ahead and bring the second side up as well. And you know what? We're talking about planning the commercial area over here, so let's just plan for the future. There we go. What did she say? Rosemary says, I believe I'm shadow banned from Chirper. Does anyone see this chirp? I love it. So our water availability is still very high. Let's actually go check and see how the pollution is doing. We can't help it right now. It's going to flow up and out, but let's see what it looks like. Not terrible yet. The water hasn't even started to turn brown. Industrial, of course, is going to pollute a little bit into the ground here. Just kind of isolating it away from town. Oh my. Just noticed we have a big row of cars all lined up to get into town. I wonder what made them back up like that, because it's not really an issue now. Maybe it was everybody moving in all at once. We'll have to keep an eye on that, though. Again, we may want to upgrade this. More lanes, faster lanes. Maybe we'll make it specifically a highway that they can go 100 kph on.
At the old grain mill always has the best service and the best home-style meals in town. We'll make sure you always leave at the old grain mill with a smile and a full belly. Now, be sure that you come down to at the old grain mill, old-fashioned family restaurant, and not the abandoned grain facility at the edge of town. It's not safe for visitors and poses serious risks to anyone who dares enter that old mill, which was forced to close down years ago. We ordered our sign and uniforms before we learned of the existence of that dangerous old flour mill, so we are not responsible for what happened there on that awful night. We just want to focus on making great meals every night at the old grain mill. Old-fashioned family restaurant at the old grain mill, from our family to yours.
I hope you could hear that well. I've adjusted the volume a bit, but that's one of my favorite ads.
Featuring DJ Jimmy Fries and a 4-year-old quarter horse named Clover.
Okay, let's turn down the commercials for a second. Alright, so I've got access now to fire and police services, so let's get a couple of these in here. They cost $12,000, but we're making some money now, so let's go ahead and get them added in. Kind of centrally located, I think will be best. Okay, we'll pop them in here in the middle. Fire and police right next to each other. Don't normally have to do that, but these security posts, I believe, are also modded in, but they come in really handy when you have like an extended neighborhood that's just outside of police range and you don't really want a whole other police station. We just put a little outpost out there. They may have come with parks. Not sure. Can't tell from mousing over it, but oh well. You know what? Let's go ahead and chance it and get the elementary school. I want my people to be educated. We're going to be spending more than half of our money, but the investment will be worth it. Let's get them road access here. Right off Smithson Street. We have access to some unique buildings already. We need the money to plop them down, but these give us some buffs. Usually tourist buffs. Electricity looks good. It's spreading across. Water covers everything. All right. Oh, let me actually turn the game volume back up here. I had turned down that commercial and we got some banging music, so. You know what, actually, I'm going to take a quick 5, and I'll be right back, but I'll let you keep listening to this. Alright, I am back. So we did leave that running actually for a couple minutes. I just paused it for a moment. But while I was away, or either that or just before, we did get access to districts and areas. So we can now zone out some of our actual ideas for our neighborhoods. Let's take a look one more time. We did bring blue all the way over here. I'm okay with that though. Let's say... Let's actually just name this whole area of town, including the commercial areas. Let's give this west side of Twitch Town a district name. Oops, we'll right click there, erases, so let's fill all that in. Highland Hills. Do I like that? I don't know if I like that. Let's do West. Elms? West? Western? West? West Twitchtown? Something that actually talks about maybe what the area is good for. Let's do Western Heights. It's the place in town to live right now. It's the only place in town to live right now. Actually, tweak this audio just a little bit more and turn it back up. Let's see. Like a 21 here. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And I'll adjust it here on the stream. Looks good. Alright, so Western Heights now. Our plan for you is to have residential. Oh, and our demand for residential is still way up. So let's get some more neighborhoods back in here. And then we'll bring commercial up on this side. Let's take our roads over. We're doing some really plain, squared off neighborhoods. Going from horizontal to vertical over here. Which one? It's our first building to level up. Is it this one here? It's one of these. Let's take a look at it real quick. So I believe it's talking about Hospital Hills here. Nice. Land values maxed out here for progress. They're happy. Educate more citizens to allow the building to be upgraded. Gotcha. So we have people biking around. Who do we have? James Mason here, riding on his bike. Where are you headed, James? To the neighborhood shop. It's got to be right down the street here, right? Watch out for the hot dog van. Okay. Neighborhood shop. Looks like an old school theater almost. or an apartment complex. The names don't always match what the facade looks like. Here we have the ice cream parlor. Litz Gothic. Boutique-estrian Miss. We're gonna rename it Mr. Freezy's. I'm not gonna go through this with a fine-tooth comb and rename everything, but on occasion if I see something, we might as well make it match. How's industrial doing? We still don't have an increased demand for industrial, so we'll just let this keep growing as it does. So now our demand for residential's come down a little bit, but still there. We do have our school. So we don't have to tweak the budget for anything just yet. Let's start looking at some of our metrics here. Garbage. Full coverage. Not too hard for the garbage trucks to make their way around town. So, saying we have a new building, but I'm pretty sure... Yeah, it's just talking about the elementary school. We've already built one. No, we're good. Health? Why are you guys unhealthy? Not really a good idea. Why? Healthcare. Average health. I wonder if they started off not so healthy and they're getting more healthy? Not quite sure yet, but we'll see. We do have 6 citizens. Why are they sick? Did we build a hospital? No, we didn't build a hospital yet, that's why. Doy. See, I was sitting here thinking we built a hospital when I was thinking about the elementary school, which we just looked at. Let's put the hospital kind of up here by this parking lot. They may have to pull in or out from the intersection. Not too worried about it yet, though. If that starts causing traffic, we may move it. Let's see if that improves health. Oh, immediately. Much better. The sick people are being picked up by ambulances as we speak. This might be a pandemic if it's causing road blockages. How many sick people were in this one house? Let's give them some privacy. Alright, so more residential. It never ends. So we are going to want to come up into the mountains at some point. Maybe we want to go ahead and keep building our neighborhood up, and then we can eventually have some really nice expensive houses with a great view. New services, what do we have here? Winter Market, Panda Sanctuary, Oriental Pearl Tower, Temple Complex. All of these are $50 to $100 or more $1,000, so we will not be buying those just yet. Good to know that they're here. Thank you, tutorial, for letting me know, but I am not interested in building those just yet. Maybe once we have a surplus of money. Let's take commercial up now. Let's shape it before we just go with what we feel and build so much residential that we don't have room for the commercial in that initial neighborhood that we wanted here. What was that chirp? Grand thunderstorm. Lightning flashing, thunder rumbling. Heavy metal storm. Isn't really any rain right now, though. You can get rain. It is possible to see rain. So we can't do the vertical street here because we'll replace the police department, but I kind of like that. That's going to give us the option to kind of section off commercial. Maybe we even bring this down, but not all the way to the road, so we just kind of have a creative dead-end neighborhood here. Kind of see how that plays off of traffic. And then again, we can add paths in eventually as well to give pedestrians a way to walk around. So let's go ahead and expand our commercial here. Go ahead and give residential a little bit more what they like. I did say that I didn't want to build residential right up against the road, didn't I? We did that here in 2 places, 3 places. No, that was for the main road, and they're all the same roads. So let's go with it now, and then if we start getting traffic issues, or rather if we need to expand them, they can't park anymore, then they will have to figure it out. We do have a lot of pedestrian options. They do seem to opt to walk places if they're not too far. What's going on here? Crime scene. How's our crime looking? Not too shabby. Now, does our fire station and police station reach over here? Police doesn't really. Fire. Let's see. Fire also doesn't. That's a big fire hazard problem. I'm loving this rainbow of trees, though. Let's see. Do we have the small fire station? Tiny town, what do we get? Park areas, industry areas, so we can actually plan out industry now if we want to work with that expansion. I may wait till a little bit later to touch on that. Parks and plazas. We have policies that we can enact for our districts. And we got the paths that we wanted, so that'll be fun. We'll play around with that. We'll see if we can make a primarily pedestrian city. We have industry buildings, we have a high school unlocked, lots of parks. Tiny town is where it's at. Vertical farming. Fancy. Alright. And we got a bit of money with that. What's our income? It's 2,000. I do believe that we also unlocked the ability to expand when we feel like it, but we haven't nearly expanded enough into this. And how much would it cost if we wanted to? It's only 3,000 to expand. 2,500. 4,000 to expand in this direction. Maybe that's because of the amount of land. 3,400, but no, we're good for now. What new building do we get? We got the high school, which is 24,000. We barely would have enough to afford it now. Let's hold off on the high school. Teach our people how to read. Start learning to write cursive before it becomes obsolete, and then we'll drop high school on them and they won't know what to think. Now, police, let's go ahead and use one of these little security posts and also the fire version just to kind of quell concerns we might have for this area. Let's kind of put them out here on the corner. Let's see what that does for our fire rating. It really does just cover that corner. I don't know if we'll use this very often in the near future, because they're 2,000 each, but let's pop one down over here too. Let's stick with what we got for police. I don't necessarily see there being too much crime right next to the landfill. Yeah, let's keep looking at some of these metrics that we have. So our education is median. They've learned how to read at a 4th grade level. We're good for now. Traffic. So our most highly trafficked areas are people coming into the industrial area. Let's deselect whatever we have selected here. Escape. Escape. Resume. There we go. So I think initially we may want to watch those higher trafficked areas. maybe expand them to more lanes. They're parking along this here as well. Let me see. We still have demand for residential. Do we want to eat into this residential, or eat into this area with more residential and just have this L-shaped commercial? Or do we want to build more commercial here and come north with residential? Let's keep going north with residential.
The Brontosaurus. For millennia, these gentle and graceful giants roamed the earth, grazing off the
Let's get
lush
creative.
vegetation of the time. Their mere existence transformed the landscape and made a lasting impact on our world. It's that legacy that Dino Oil is proud to continue by using their eons-old dead bone goop to fuel your 5-door wagon, making it the oldest form of recycling there is. Dino Oil. Embrace the power of bones.
Bone power. So now we've got some curves here. We're going to need to build that up into the mountain eventually. So I figure we start getting organic and less square. We kind of have a piano shape going on here. Let's. Do I want to get creative with that and bring it around? That would mean we would need to do something like. No. Let's get kind of a neat shape here. I wonder. What does that look like? Let's go ahead and complete the shape. Kind of what we were looking at. There we go. We can get kind of a roundabout going here. Maybe improve those roads later too. More like a highway speed, and then we can have sort of an internal neighborhood here. But yeah, we'll start to experiment with some more curvy shapes. We do need to build our industry area. Let's dedicate this area over here. Did it have any kind of particular industry? Forestry, kinda. We have farmland here. That's not a bad idea. We could expand farming up into this area. Kind of have a rural northern Twitch town. Quays. Oh, okay. Good idea for the shoreline later. But yeah, maybe we can come up north here with a main drag that's commercial on one side and farms on the other. Maybe we'll even bring it over to the left some and then up. But for now, and you know, it may actually help with the pollution. I don't know if it will hurt profitability for the town, but maybe we go ahead and make this forestry since it's close to the trees. Chestnut Park. You will be forestry. So we have some commercial specialization options. Office. Great. Let's take Western Heights. Well, I was gonna paint it up, but let's start giving this other area another name. Let's say this area comes down to this road here, up and around our natural path. Is this a nicer part of town? I mean, Western Heights was our nice part of town. Is this going to be even nicer? Does it get pricier and ritzier as we get up into the mountains? Let's leave Lilac Square for now as the name, and let's start painting in some natural shapes to these roads. Kind of get an idea of what this area might look like. Do we want to come off of here? Let's see what a curve will look like if we come off of here. Start to fill this space. How about here? Let's bring it in. In and down. Sort of to a dead end here. Let's give some options for houses to live on. Little dead end roads, some cul-de-sacs. Let's just sort of fill out this area here. Maybe we have a connecting road. We come off of that. Now we don't want to do too many roads removed from the main road like this. This might actually be too many, because then it would actually add a lot to the distance for services like hospitals and fire. So probably want to just kind of have at least that main road that they come off of. And we can fill in some of these gaps. It's not the most efficient, but we can fill in some of these gaps with parks. So let's say maybe we have some smaller houses that'll be, yeah, along this strip here, and they'll kind of be backed up against each other. Do we want these to connect? Maybe they connect just a little straightaway right here, so they can get through. It's kind of ugly now, but we'll see what it looks like once we actually fill it out. We'll get one more little road here. Why not? Nice. Lots of little plots, and let's go ahead and paint in some residential. Oh, maybe not yet. We don't have any desire for residential right now. What has happened? Let's take a look. Could be my high taxes. People aren't moving out yet, though. We do have one complaint here, not enough educated workers. That's fine. We could go ahead and build the high school. We have just enough. We haven't taken out a loan. We still have a net positive. It's starting to drop, though. Let's go ahead and drop in the high school. Let's put it up here on the north side of town. Let's say here. Yeah, it reaches just about everybody. We can maybe get some buses in here later. Let's get it some power, some water. We don't have a lot of money to go off of here. We'll need to wait for a few more paychecks to come in. But should be able to get at least a couple of these power lines in. Power our high school. Get some educated people in. Make them happy. Make them want to move in. What's the new service we have here? Oh yeah, we have some parks, and they're not too bad. $1,000 for a small park. Let's brighten this area up a little bit. Let's put a park in. Ooh, that's for being called a small park, that's pretty big. What about a small playground? We'll start with a playground. Where's our school? We put our school over here. Do we want the playground near the school? Bulldoze a couple houses for it. Oof, it would be all 4 houses. Let's see. Let's put it over here. Kind of commercial area, but playground. I don't want to butt it up against the main road. Hey, they like it. So we put in our small park. We spent almost all of our money. We may have to take out a loan soon. We'll see. We don't have a lot of industrial. However, we don't have a lot of desire for it. We're starting to get some, though. We can paint in a little bit more over here, and even some up against the border of our map here. Now that we have industrial buildings that have spread over here, we don't really need these power lines. We'll need to keep that one. That'll free up a little bit of space that we can use for industrial too. Let's see. Let's go ahead and paint in the whole back half. Cheers. Now that we've got just a little bit more money, let's go ahead and make sure that these areas are going to have water, because we do want people to move in when they're ready. Ooh, we can only expand a little bit at a time. Let's start with those, and then let's paint in some more residential. I'm hesitant to do these edge areas just yet. I mean, we did leave enough space. It would probably be fine. You know, let's start with that. Let's go with this back end here. Some of them will probably be bulldozed at some point if we need to build through roads. What do we have for industrial here? We got some new places moving in. Country Falls. So this is something that ties up traffic later. If you have a bustling industrial area, these trucks pull in and then they turn around and pull back out in the middle of the road, and people have to wait for them. See, they'll stop, block traffic. Another car coming the other direction will have to wait a moment. They'll drive through each other on occasion, but if they actually queue up the traffic the way that they're supposed to, it causes traffic. Kind of liking this view though. A little brownish. Still pretty by the water. Maybe we can do some parks that run along like a boardwalk. Could do that in a bit too. Let's see. Landscaping. Yeah, we do have some tools for changing landscaping if we need to do that as well. Yeah, our parks and plazas are here now. So that's something we can also consider. We could zone out a park area and we can work on that later. All kinds of pedestrian options like benches. Let's hold off on that. Let's go back to our initial idea while we're waiting to get some more money, because we do still have a net positive. Let's put some pathways in. Do we want those from this menu? I don't think so, actually. I think they are near the parks. Park stuff. Let's find them. Here we go. Park path. I think that there's a different path, though, that's not specific to parks. these parking lots here. Let's see. Path. Well, lots of objects. It's possible that we don't have it yet. No, here we go. It's odd. It's under landscaping and disasters. Pavement paths, bicycle paths, gravel paths. I don't know if the citizens have to buy a bicycle or if they just automatically pull one out of their pocket to use a bicycle path, but I like to see them walk or bike on a pavement path just in case. I don't want to be pushy and tell them they have to bike. Then we have park paths with decorations, amusement park paths. All of those are in here as well. Nature Reserve has lights on that path. That's neat. Let's just start with pavement paths first. And let's go ahead and bisect some of these areas. It's going to demolish a few. But these paths, they connect the sidewalks. And we want some up through the middle of these long neighborhoods that we've created. So let's kind of come up through here. Maybe just directly up. Giving them a path to the commercial area. Sorry, you were upgrading. And let's also, if I can remember how, put in a crosswalk. I think that's right here. This is also a mod, but you can choose a section of road. Oh, it's going to be a little uneven. That's fine. To put in a safe crosswalk that traffic will actually stop for the pedestrians to cross, and the pedestrians don't have to walk all the way around. So now we've given them the ability to cross over to commercial area here. What else do we want to put paths in? We're going to go a little path crazy. We kind of want to cross horizontally here, I think. So let's... Oh, we don't necessarily have to snap to these squares. We could come up the middle, and that would let our crosswalk kind of match the path. I think I want to try that this way. Oh, but it takes up 2 squares. You know... What services do we have here? We have the school, fire, police down below, so we're not really going to eat into anything if we come across. Let's turn off snapping. Is it angle snapping? It's road link snapping. It's not the grid. I want the grid. It's the road guide. It is the road guidelines. Where was it, by the way? Right here, just south of this table. Comes straight across. Let's also make one here. And even here. They will move back in. Let's turn that snapping back on. And let's put some crossings in.
We all want to be prepared. We all want to be sure that the people we leave behind.
Let's put one on this end, just in case they're coming from this side of the road.
Final insurance comes in. We provide peace of mind.
Move the cars that were parked. That was kind of neat.
For a small monthly sum, you can spend your
All the way across. And I think that we needed one down here. Yeah. Just in case. We don't have any residential down here, but we may put some down here. We want them to be able to cross safely here. Look at that. They're already using the path. Biking on it. Disappearing. Maybe he lives there.
Postmodernist gallery, showcasing a radical departure from the primitive concepts of form and shape. Be there or be square.
So what do we have here? We have a need. Not enough educated workers. Okay, so we have a high school. What does our education look like? Mixed. Elementary school services this side of town, but not really down here. Don't think we can afford a community college yet, or community school rather. Institute for Creative Arts is kind of an initial alternate to high school. Higher upkeep, but I'm sure there's some other perks as well. Let's see. I wonder if it has a bigger range. Let's see, the normal elementary school reaches that far. High school, not as far. Seems to reach a little bit further. Maybe that's the perk. Just going to have to keep letting them get educated. Make them happy. Let's put in some more parks. Keep our people happy. Plaza with trees. Leisure areas, parks and plazas. Let's put in a plaza. We have a playground here already. Let's put one up here. Does that improve? It does. It improves the leisure for that side of town. What else do we have? Paradox Plaza. Plaza with picnic tables. Do we have more park-y kind of stuff? Let's go back to the left over here. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Park with trees. Pretty big. These are just the stock parks, not the actual park expansion. But yeah, let's put in a big park for this side of town. How much is that? 7,000. Let's invest. Beautifying our neighborhood, making people happy. Oh yeah, look at that. Turning blue already. These purple trees. They're still mad about educated workers. Maybe it's just that they don't have enough. They need well-educated. We don't have colleges just yet. When do we unlock those? Let's check our goal here for Boomtown. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Boomtown, we need another 200 people to move in. Got about 10 people moving in every day. Is that what that counters for? Day, hour, whatever that. I think it's day. So this is going to give us a few more road options, which unlocks a few of our mod roads. Does it give us college? And if so, do we want to invest in it? And I think we do at some point. It might not just yet, though. Bus depots, cemeteries. What about Busy Town? More roads. Hospitals, fire stations, headquarters, road maintenance. Big town. That's where university comes in. We need 6,500 for that. Well, I don't know if you guys are going to get the educated people that you want. Or is that... You know what though? Well-educated is just high school. Highly educated is the one that's college. And they don't need those. Not yet, at least. So what's our high school doing? Where do we put it? Let's see. We have the elementary here. We put the high school way up here. Right. But... this whole area can reach it. Right? Let's see. High school. Yeah, except for these houses down here, they can all reach it. Low graduated. Maybe they just need more time. I think they just need the time that it's going to take to graduate, and then they can get some of these nicer middle management jobs. Not even middle management, assistant manager of Kinko's jobs that are vacant here. And yeah, some of these businesses may move out if they go a little too long. But you know what? That's okay for now. Do we want to make a park area? Not yet, not yet. Sorry, tutorial. Hold off for just a little bit. We'll make a park when we're ready. We need some more industrial. So we can go ahead and start on some of those farms. Let's take another look at the fertile land. It's all up through here. Concentrated the most right here in the middle. I think the whole area is probably decent. Then we have coal, I think is what that is, right? Ore. Along the base of the mountain. We have some oil up here. That might be interesting. Kind of eats into our riverfront property a little, but maybe the benefit of industry will pay off. So one thing we can do with these farms is we can also come off of our curved road here a little bit into a farming area and then connect that back down here to the main circle so that they can exit. So maybe we want to come off and encircle this whole area. Let's try. Let's see if we can continue this direction. Can we do it while we have the natural resource menu on? There we go. That way we kind of encircle it a little. The roads won't make sense to the naked eye of the average citizen in town, but our agricultural professionals insist that this was the best road for in and out, getting to work, and shipping goods out of town. Maybe we also... Well, I was thinking we would connect here, but maybe that's just eventually. We do want some offshoots here. We want to cover this area with farms. This can be a little bit more geometric. Maybe we build a main north-south road and then a crossroad here. We can encircle this a little. Okay, I like that. Can we mirror this? That might be interesting. We don't want to make a lot of crossroads, though. What if we bring in a loop here? This is interesting. Let's see if we can make something interestingly come off of this at a curve. How do we want to do this? That eats into that a bit too much. Let's come up through here. I have to kind of get over the irksome OCD tendencies I have to make everything perfect. Roads in cities are most definitely not perfect. Especially not where I grew up in Middle Tennessee, where everything was built around the hill next door. That does not look terrible, though. We have a little bit of a gap right here. Maybe we could put some trees in there. This will be farmland, though. This will look neat. So let's go ahead and paint this out. Do we have resources? We don't have water. Let's bring the water up. We may not have enough for the pipes that we need for this whole area yet. Let's save a little bit of money in case we need to connect with a power line. Let's paint in some industrial. You know what? First, let's zone this district. Everything outside of that curved road. All of this. Barlow City Park. It is not going to be a park. This is going to be... Oh, you know what? I did pick park, didn't I? Because it had automatically selected it for me with the tutorial. Let's see. Park, park, park. District, paint park, erase park. There we go. No, no, no. Not park. Go play in the industrial combine. We want a district. It is going to be an industrial district, but we will paint this district here. Up and over. Is that good? Yeah. We'll have farm on this side of the road here, so we'll make sure that's covered. It will not be Hickory Square. No. Cover that. This will be Farmer's Dell. And we will designate this specifically farming industry. Perfect timing. We have more than half demand. Let's paint some industrial here. Let's bring it all the way down. Yeah, why not? Let's get to the main road here. And let's bring it around. Now we are going to need power, especially these first little places moving in. They are going to complain that they do not have power. Kind of don't want to waste too much. That is perfect. So they can kind of spread from here. Look at that. Got little farms moving in. Beefcakes. Happy strawberry. Not enough water. Oh, that's right. We only came halfway over with the water. We have some money now. Let's do the rest. Okay, let's also go ahead and extend this up because we are going to expand this neighborhood over here once we get some demand. We don't want to flood the market though, so let's hold off on the zoning until we know. We'll just kind of come up to here, up the hill. There we go. Doesn't the city board, what did that say? Doesn't the city board come up with anything more modern than farming? What's next? Horse and wagons? I think you'll appreciate it when you don't have smog in your backyard. Walter. Okay, building's on fire. The police station right next door to the fire station caught on fire. First off, I'm going to say that's probably arson. Secondly, it's right next to the fire station. I think we're good. How does fire coverage look? Not great out here. Super flammable. Firehouses were 12,000, so when we get 12,000, that'll be our next update. For taxes, we did go up to 12%. Let's see if they'll get angry at 13. Well, you know, we don't have a demand. Let's leave it. Do we want to take out a small loan? It's 20,000. We're actually good, I think, for right now. We don't have a super emergency update that's needed, so let's take a look at how some of our commuters are getting to work. They live close enough. They're walking across the circle this way. If we can shorten their path to work, they'd probably appreciate it. Let's give our citizens a present. Let's give them a walkway from the neighborhood here all the way over to the industrial area, maybe meeting over here at this crosswalk so they can get to work faster. Farmers, sorry, not as convenient to walk to work here. Probably gonna have to drive for now. What do we have here? There's a rogue lion wandering around. We have a wild lion in town. Well, I guess we didn't specify exactly what country this is in, so, you know, we could be in South Africa. Actually, you know, I shouldn't act like I even know. I don't know if lions are in South Africa. I will make it a point to educate myself right after this stream and find out exactly what country lions are in. Countries? Hopefully countries. Hopefully they're not that endangered.
Owner of Tony McGonag's Steakhouse. And when people ask me where I get my award-winning meat from, it's from one place, Meaty Bits. No matter what you need, be it a smoked pig, a goat by sunset, or a 10-foot alligator in a salty brine, Meaty Bits will get it to you fast with a smile and completely without judgment. So, if it's good enough for Tony McGonag's Steakhouse, why not be good enough for Joe Public's Home House? Yeah. Get in touch with Meaty Bits and tell them Tony sent you. Meaty Bits. If it ever was alive, they can get it to you dead.
Meaty Bits. So I'm thinking that a path coming across
You're listening to Synthetic
here
Dog with Jessica Statler. Tune in and dance your way through the rat race.
straight across. Pausing for a second. Does that cut off our power? It did. Yeah, so let's make sure that we still get our power here connected. Let's go up and over our path and into this zone. For now, at least. It's not pretty, but in fact, it's quite ugly, but we will roll with that. Now let's see if we can take our path up. Coming off of this, let's hit page up 3. It's right in the way of our power line already. Okay, let's come down 1. I don't think that that's high enough. Can we come up again? Is that high enough for roads? Not really. Pause, pause, pause. Let's see. Move this to the middle here. Let's keep our tree. You can come up. Let's check electric. Let's move you up. Okay. Now back to paths. Let's actually bulldoze what we're working on here. Let's try again. Come across. We want to go up 3, I believe. We'll stop here, and we will come all the way across We'll have to move these power lines too. Let's just go ahead and get them bulldozed. And then down, down, down to this path. So now we have a walkway. Hopefully that doesn't block traffic. No, they can drive under. Yeah, there they go. They're driving under just fine. And let's reconnect power. Let's say this here. Normally you'd have to spend money to break and replace one of these or move them, so this is a little cheaty, but that's about the extent that I'll cheat for now. Alright, so yeah, it's only a matter of time before they start using this path. Robert Wright is walking over our path right now. He's on his way home to the King residence. Their last names don't really match the house names either, which is a little weird. Awesome. See you, Robert. Look at that. So that'll probably take a lot of pedestrians off the circle here, so crossing the roads won't hold up traffic as much. I kind of wonder if we can force them to use this by removing most of the crosswalks. I don't know that they're coming out to the middle of the circle, but can we remove crosswalks? I know that we can add them. Might be an option here. Let's see. Vehicle restrictions. Manual traffic lights. Nah, doesn't look like it's an option. But when we upgrade this type of road, it may not be one that they can cross, and that will be okay because we'll have some pedestrian options for them, or we'll have to keep that in mind. Or they will phase through traffic, which happens on occasion. Whew. How does crime look? I don't think that I've ever had a terrible problem with crime playing City Skylines. See, we don't have any demand. Our income is positive. Let's tick our residential taxes down just a couple percent. It's going to eat into our income a little. Let's see how far that goes down from 3,000. But if it builds some interest in moving here, hey, Twitchtown has low taxes, we want to move there. It's 62 degrees all the time. Holly says, quadcopters becoming increasingly efficient for delivery services, dropping packages directly at your door. I wish. Getting some use of this parking lot. Does parking fall under roads? I wonder why it would give the option to open the budget panel from there. 30 visitors, tourists. Maybe it counts as a park. That would make sense because it's in that menu. Now, what is the purpose of handicap spaces in the middle of the parking lot? If you really needed this many, wouldn't you put them closer to the... Who knows? Who knows? Interesting artistic choice. How are our farms doing? They want workers in general takes people a little while to get to work, I bet. Let's get them a walking path here. They can already walk across. They can already walk up. How about that rain? Yeah, let's give them a place to walk to work. New demand for residential. Let's build up through here. How did our high school get... Oh, we don't have enough electricity to meet demand anymore. No wonder. We need to make a decision. Do we stick with coal power or do we start investing in wind energy? I think we start to invest in wind. I can't let my guilty conscience for coal power grow and grow. Let's take a look here. Up in the mountains are some of the highest windy areas. We have some down here. Well, we haven't bought that territory yet. Or beyond here. We could build some right here. Those would produce 8 megawatts. Out here, 7. Feel like something should be 8 down here, but it looks like it's just 7. We have enough money to build a couple of these. We need 8 megawatts to meet demand. So we need to build at least a couple of these and then plan to build even more. So let's go ahead and start building on the side of this hill. Slope too steep, you're killing me. I may cheese it and build it and move it onto the slope anyway. So let's build a couple of those. You know, we'll leave them for now, but again, I may cheese it eventually. And let's take the power down and into our main grid. Let's come down this line here. Is it out of city limits? Let's go a little closer in. I mean, ideally we won't use this for the power lines for forever because we want to zone this little back strip here, but now that we've connected that to the grid, what does that look like? Oh hey, we're Boomtown. So we have transport options. Oh yeah, we did get policies last time, so we do need to unlock some policies. Or enact some policies. We have taxi, post service, ferries if we do eventually move over into the water, highways now, which unlocked even more of our custom road options, tram depot, medical helicopters, a lot more options to expand into now. Alright. So this is powered up. We're now producing 56. Immediately got more money from that upgrade. Let's go ahead and build some more. We're going to need these anyway. Let's get some more 8 megawatt fans over here. I'm building 3. If they will take. There we go. So we are good for a bit on power. We did cover this area for water. High school's got power now. Students 500 out of 1,000, so they're not full. How about the elementary school? 186 out of 300. I believe it worked out for our commercial area. We do have some well-educated people filling these jobs now, and while there's no demand, the ones that moved out are gone, but they'll come back. They don't like farming. Why don't you like farming? Look at that view. Okay. So with our residential demand, let's move some people out here a little closer to the farms, and then they can get some actual nearby jobs filled. I don't think farming has much pollution to worry about. So we'll build down into these cul-de-sacs here a little bit. I want to be careful not to overexpand. We want to have the flexibility to place what we need where and when. But yeah, they need some workers out here. Build shelters. I don't think I have disasters turned on. Alright, so we have people moving in. The Oasis. That's the party house. Traffic routes view. I should check that for some of these. Interesting. Are many of them... They're not all on the road. Let's take a look at traffic. This is the most congested because they're coming in and out. It's not backed up though. It's red because it sees a lot of cars, but it's not backed up.
Old-fashioned family restaurant. At the Old Grain Mill always has the best service and the best home-style meals in town. We'll make sure you always leave at the Old Grain Mill with a smile and a full belly. Now, be sure that you come down to at the Old Grain Mill.
Pollution's not terrible. We shouldn't see much here. Now we are starting to see some water pollution, but that's traveling north.
And poses serious risks to anyone who dares enter that old mill, which was forced to close down years ago.
Residential filled out with some demand left, so let's go ahead and paint this area in.
Dangerous old flour mill, so we are not responsible for what happened there on that awful night. We just want to focus on making great meals every night at the Old Grain
This
Mill.
commercial.
Old-fashioned family restaurant at the Old Grain Mill, from our family to yours.
Let's get some more paths added.
With yakisoba, the noodle masters. No matter what stage of life you're in, we have the perfect noodles for
Road
you.
tolls. I don't think I'm going to do that yet. I want people to freely come in and move in.
All the way to those most final of noodles. Every occasion has a noodle at yakisoba, so experience something different. Yakisoba. It literally means fried noodles.
Alright, so they can walk up into this area.
The best views
Let's
in life
connect
come
most
from
of
the top.
these.
Looking out from a window on the 70th floor, the people below you look more like ants than individuals, all tirelessly working for a chance at the same high-rolling lifestyle. Where would we be without this?
Is
kind of
anyone
vision?
walking across?
There wasn't always someone earning more than you. Why
We
would
may
anyone
have to
compete
bus
anymore?
people to farms.
From up here, you can't help but take a step back and think. Right.
Post office.
If you're feeling blue today, imagine listening to this next tune from a view like mine.
Post office offers mail-related services such as acceptance and delivery of letters and parcels. Each post office maintains a small fleet of post vans that collect and distribute mail. They use water and electricity. I'm assuming they bring happiness just from having a service. How much? 6,000. We could use a post office. Let's put them on this row here. Still waiting on more commercial need before we paint any more commercial in here. How far did that service say that it reaches? Is that on here? Destruction. Disaster. Tourism, park maintenance, industry, post office. There we go. So it doesn't really reach this neighborhood up here, but we will expand more up here as we can afford it. Speaking of which, we should get a new medical clinic up here. Service this area. We should also plan ahead and get a cemetery. Let's put the cemetery kind of off of this road here. That way it is easily accessible from all over town. Look at that, everybody's happy. Let's say a firehouse. A fire could be really terrible for just about any of the corners of this map, so firehouse. We're very close to being able to afford another police station, which I will go ahead and get. Once we have the money, which should be any moment now. Wait for it. Wait for it. As it slowly ticks up. Crime is low, but they don't really reach, so I want to make sure they're covered. Here we go. Plop them down. So happy. Look at our little Twitch town. Cemetery. Do we get a bell? There we go. Still using the pedestrian bridge, that's great. Some people walking across here. You guys going to work? Worker at Juice Press. Okay. Going to work at the juice farm. Now that I look at it and it's starting to fill out, I'm not that upset about these shapes. They look actually pretty good. I think so, at least. It's kind of neat what happened here behind the clinic and the fire department. How it kind of pulls up the terrain just to level everything out. Let's build some walkways here across in between these areas. Same reason we built them. I sort of feel like we might need to do it here too. I really do. Let's go for it. Let's go as straight as we can up through here. I mean, it'll be a little wonky because it's curved, but... Sorry. Pardon me. Coming through. Oof. We'll just go at a bit of an angle. Do want to probably start on the other side of the street. We're bulldozing all of the new industry that's moved in. not worth anything if people cannot get to work. So we want our pedestrians to be able to walk here. Can I get that square? Thank you. And then let's come across here. Might be good for now. Little wonky. Can we move those? I bet we can. Just hope it doesn't throw off any of the pathfinding. Yeah. Is that okay? I hope they use this path. It's a little close to that house. Okay. Get some crosswalks in here. I guess we'll allow it. Maybe that. There we go. Kind of eats into this. We'll see. We'll make sure that works. Another crosswalk. Let's see. Oh no. Yeah, there we go. One here. Hello, cows. Free range, I see. You only have a fence on this side of the road. So we're gonna pop one in there. Close enough. One here. Hey, how about that? They immediately changed their mind to walk across. And just in case they're coming from this side of the road. A little wonky, but look at that. I don't mind wonky if they are already using it. I love it. No more complaints about not having workers. We have a neighborhood nearby. People can walk to work. I love it. Going to work in Farmer's Dell. And we have a gorilla roaming around. Perfect. What a great city. I would think I'm dreaming if I didn't know otherwise. Thank you, Anna White. Where does Anna live? She is right here in the Man Sands. What do we have here? Post 3, 4 post vans. It's a lot of post vans. Let's check traffic one more time. A lot of in and out. People moving in. Seems spaced out though. Not too much to worry about until we actually see cars backing up. This might be an issue. What's happening here? So they wait for a while at this red light. We could get a little bit more crafty and cheese it by taking the lights off. Let's see, where's that? I want to say that we have that option. Manual traffic lights? No. We're not doing that. Timed traffic lights. Switch traffic lights. There we go. So we can just turn them on and off. So we turn them off. There's no such thing as traffic accidents in City Skylines, so it's cheesing it a little bit, but they could just go flying out into the middle of the intersection. And they'll still relatively take their time. Yeah, let's kind of see how these interact. So he stopped for him to cross. Oh no, the lights are back. I thought I turned them off. Maybe I turned them back on by accident. Alright, let's watch it for a second. See, they'll drive right out there in front of traffic. But now we really won't end up with a backlog of traffic until we have lots of cars lined up to go in both directions. But otherwise, they'll go when it's most convenient. Yeah, see, they'll just kind of back up and wait. Which for right now is probably ideal enough. Let's see if that kind of... Oh yeah. It already got a little lighter. It's probably still going to stay orange because there's a lot of through traffic. I think that this chirp here, our vacation was extended because someone watered the plants while we're gone. The key is in the flower pot on the porch. I think that's because we have low crime. They're very trusting citizen. New building. What do we get here? Do we have a new building? Maybe it's under the... Yeah, disaster response units. We're not playing with disasters, I don't think. I do believe that I had them disabled. At least I hope so, even though there is a disaster icon up here. I don't intend to cause a disaster. I want this to be a chill playthrough. I don't intend to charge toll roads yet either. Garbage truck, pull over. Pull over, garbage truck. Where are you headed? It's a crime at the Double Bay Residency. Alright, and on that note, I think I will call it for the evening. I'm proud of how Twitch Town is shaping up. No major complaints from our citizens right now. We are just a boom town, approaching a busy town. We have about 3,000 citizens. We'll call it there. Have a good night. I'll see you next time.